I'm Vanessa Ruck here in the XL Moto Garage. Get your gloves ready because today we're going to be talking about how to clean and lubricate your motorcycle chain. Cleaning your final drive chain is a really important part of your maintenance to make sure that the power you're getting from your engine is going to have optimal performance to get to your rear wheel. And it's something that every one of us can do at home quite easily. It's a really basic maintenance task. It's not difficult. And in today's video, we're going to show you exactly how to go through the process of cleaning a dirty chain and re-lubing it so that you can get back out on the road with confidence. As far as when you should be cleaning your chain, there's no exact science to knowing the timelines. You really want to be looking at your chain, seeing how dirty it is, and keeping on top of that. But roughly, you want to look at about 450k up to the 800k range. But again, go by how your chain is looking, not by a number on your dash. Another factor to bear in mind in that maintenance cycle is the sort of riding you're doing, the conditions you're in. Obviously, any kind of water, whether that's you washing your bike or the rain and the elements outside, is going to reduce the volume of lube that is left on your chain and thus put you in a situation where you need to be doing your chain maintenance a little bit more frequently. Now, when it comes to cleaning your chain, you can, of course, take this into a workshop to get it done, but it really is quite simple to do and is going to save you a lot of money if you do it yourself. Now, when you are doing your chain, I recommend taking a good look at your sprockets at the same time, front and rear, to have a look for whether they're starting to wear out. And the key thing to be looking at is the shape of the teeth on the sprocket. You want to have a pretty uniform shape. There are lots of tutorials online to give you a deeper dive of that, but just put a little bit of awareness in your mind that when you clean your chain, you're looking at these things. Now, when it comes to cleaning your chain, I've obviously got the bike here on pit stands, so it's elevated at both sides, which means in neutral, I can spin the wheel, which is moving my chain around. Now, you won't necessarily have the luxury of these. It is possible to clean your chain just with it on the ground. You're just going to have to roll the bike forwards and backwards to move the chain around, so it'll be a little bit more fiddly. Ideally, you'll get it elevated and it will make it a slightly easier job. It's also worth bearing in mind that depending how dirty your chain, it's also going to make how hard it is to clean harder or easier. So if you really get on top of your chain maintenance, it's going to be a much quicker, easier job every time you come to do it. So let's get this chain cleaned up. First of all, I need to get some protection out here. I've obviously got my XL Moto environmental mat, but I actually want to keep my mat a little bit clean. And I know that this is a mucky job. So I've got a piece of cardboard that I'm just going to put underneath the bike as a slightly sacrificial surface because I'm very aware that this is going to create some mess. I then need to be protecting my hands because chain cleaner, while it isn't a damaging material for the bike, for my skin, it's not ideal. I have some ProWorks disposable nitrile gloves. Simple way to keep my skin protected. Perfect. I also have a little garage stool, which is going to help me do this a little bit more comfortably. And then the first product that we're going to be using is the chain cleaner. So this is an A9 product. All of these products do have the instructions on how to use them on the bottle, so it's well worth giving them a quick read. I'm going to get this on and it can start working. So, two-hand job. I'm going to spin the wheel with one hand and then I'm going to spray the product on. Does look like I've put a lot on, but you need to really get this soaked into the links of the chain. It's also advisable to get some onto your sprocket because the grime sits on there as well. And we can see that that dirt is already starting to fall off. Periodically, when you do your chain lube, it is a good idea to remove your front sprocket cover as well and get rid of some of the grime that builds up in there. We're not going to demonstrate that today, but add it to your thought process of things to do. So this needs to sit on there for a couple of minutes and let the cleaner bed into the grease and do its job. And then we're going to get the brush out. So this is a specialty brush for cleaning chains. It's quite cleverly designed. It's got 3 sides and it's quite an aggressive brush. So that enables me to clean 3 sides of the chain with 1 movement. This is available on the XLMoto website. Now, with chains like this is an O-ring chain, you've got Z-ring, X-ring, pretty much any of the chains which has a letter and the word ring afterwards will have little plastic seals in them, and then the pre-greased sections of the chain. So we don't want to be using a brush that is too aggressive because we risk damaging those seals. So this is a good option. So I'm happy that that sat for a little while. I'm going to get my brush on and then continue with the clean. Gonna go through a couple of spins and then I'm going to go to the bottom. And the beauty of this brush is I can rotate it and get another angle. The grease is definitely starting to release. I'm going to grab some paper roll and then I'm going to give it a wipe, and the colour of the paper towel at the end is a good way to see how much dirt and grime is coming off your chain. And depending on how dirty your chain is, you might want to repeat the process. So I'm gonna do 1 more spray. Got the worst off with the first go. Gonna do another coat. Amazing. And you can see why we put the cardboard down below, because it's definitely dripping. Get some more towel. Now, a quick safety tip right now, while I've got my fingers right next to a pretty aggressive sprocket and chain, and that is never be tempted to save a couple of seconds and do this with the engine on, because it's incredible how quickly your finger can suddenly be trapped in there, and there's many people in the world who don't have fingers anymore. Chain is looking a lot cleaner already. Now, depending on quite how dirty your chain is, you might want to take your bike outside and give it a bit of a hose down at this point. This isn't looking too bad. So I'm going to grab a microfiber cloth and give it a final wipe. As I'm wiping all 4 sides of the chain. That is a shiny chain. At this point, while you've still got the chain cleaner out, it's worth having a look around the chain for any lube that has flung off. It's quite a sticky material, and sometimes you can find it's up on the underneath of your rear end, into the wheel, on the swing arm, etc. So at this point, it's quite a good opportunity to use a little bit of your chain cleaner to get that grime off as well. So I can see some on the swing arm. I'm going to quickly get that off. There we go. That's a lot better. I'm happy with how clean the chain has come up. So the next task is to get some lube back on it. Lube is a really important part of the running functionality of the chain and sprocket. And it's important that you do use a lube that is recommended for a motorcycle in the same way as the chain cleaner. If you use a product that's not recommended for the task, but maybe could possibly do the job, you are going to start to jeopardize some of your O-rings, seals, the things that are in proximity around it. So do make sure you're using the right stuff. So I have an A9 on-road chain lube. Make sure you're using the right lube for the job. Gonna get that open, and it's a case of spraying it onto the bike. Naturally, there's lots of different ways, angles you can spray the lube onto the chain. The most important part is that you are happy that every single link of that chain, both sides of it, has lube on it. I tend to find that if you spray it onto the lower side of the chain, the centrifugal forces will dissipate that through the chain as opposed to straight off the chain. So I always put it on the bottom. Okay, I'm happy with that. The chain is clean and lubed. It's time to get out and have a ride now. I'm Vanessa Ruck here in the XOMoto garage. All of these products are available on the XOMoto website. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.